Hello, everybody. Welcome back. The Coming Soon podcast, of course, once again here in San Antonio, Texas, being joined this evening by Eric Lahti. My man, how are you doing, brother?
Doing all right. How about yourself, sir?
Man, I'm doing great, man. I thought I had a cool backdrop, man. You got something cool going over there, man.
Just my random stuff in my office keeps me entertained during the day.
Nice, brother. Now, when you say office, this is at home?
Yes, this is my home office. I work from home 3 days a week and in the office a couple of days a week. So I spend more time in here than I do at my work office,
Oh,
which is
okay. Well, cool, man. And how often do you get to go to work? Or do you have to get to go to your work office, should I say?
I'm over there a couple times a week,
Okay.
depending on whether or not the government's open. So usually two
No, no,
days.
that works, man. Especially when you don't have to leave the house, right? You get to stay home and just.
Yeah, the
I
commute
do
from
gotta ask you though, are you ever late getting to work at home?
the commute from the downstairs to the upstairs can get a little doggy sometimes.
Oh man, love it, brother, love it. But yeah, man, of course, we talked a little bit before this. Being in Texas, I mean, I know the weather. We got hit pretty hard last week. The week prior, man, it was
Right, right.
record lows. I mean, when it came to, I'm here in San Antonio, so I'm central now. New
Mhm.
Mexico, man, how Albuquerque, how bad do you guys get hit out there?
We didn't get anywhere near as bad as you guys got. It was like that huge cold front came up through the deep south, and it ended right at Albuquerque. So we saw a temperature drop, and we got a little bit of snow, but nothing compared to what the rest of y'all got.
No, no, yeah, bro. And I mean, we got San Antonio got a little there, I mean, as far as the power outlets and, a couple of
Mhm.
surrounding areas got lost power. But I think it was like North Texas, Houston, Austin got snow. I mean, here we got, I think the back pond actually froze,
Wow.
but luckily I took the turtle and everything else out, man. But yeah, and I think we had one in the front, and it actually survived the last freeze we had. And I was like, damn! But you could see him right at the bottom, still swimming. So I said, okay, well they're cold blooded, so they should be good.
Yeah, they can survive the cold weather pretty well, from what I hear.
No, no, yeah, man. It's just the turtle I had to bring in though, because I couldn't, I couldn't risk that one.
Yeah, yeah. My dogs got cold. The day it snowed, one of them walked out the back door, turned around, came right back in. She was like, "It's too cold." It's
Man,
one.
what kind of dogs do you have? What breed?
We've got two. We've got a 3-year-old pug and let's see, probably a 14-year-old Basset Beagle mix.
Oh,
And it gets cold outside, it gets wet, it gets snowy. He just goes right on out. The
yeah.
pug is very persnickety about what the weather's like.
I was gonna say too because we have three, and our big puppy. I mean, he's a bully pit. He's a white bully
Oh,
pit, and he can't do the heat or the cold, man. So him, as soon as he go in, do his thing, run back in.
yeah.
But
We had
but yeah,
a pit bull for a long time, and she was just the greatest dog in the world. And unfortunately, got cancer in her spine, and that was pretty bad. But she was a great
dang, man.
dog.
Sorry to hear, man. And that's one of the things too, because I think I mean me and my girl had talked about it, and it was like once these dogs are gone, man. I mean, hopefully it won't be for a few years, but I mean that'll be it. I don't want to go through that.
Yeah, every time that something like that happens, I'm like, I'm never getting another dog, and then we go out and
No,
get
yeah.
another dog. So yeah,
No,
same,
yeah,
same.
especially I mean, we need them. As much as they need us. We need them, and it's all that emotional support. So it definitely helps.
Right. It's nice to have a little fur ball like curled up next to you or plomping down on top of you.
No, I agree. Yeah, as much as they annoy the heck out of me, man, I love them.
Yeah, they're great
But
fun.
man, I mean, of course, I have you on here for a few reasons, man. But one of them being, you being a published author. Of course, you've actually. I know one book. I mean, I did share the image before we came on, but
Right.
as far as publishing, like, how long have you been writing?
Uh, 14, 15 years now. So this is the seventh or eighth. I forget exactly which one it is. And there's more stuff in the pipeline all the time. It's just I started writing because I was tired of playing video games all the time. It was like I kind of need to create something. Much fun as Saints Row was.
Man, and of course, I mean, when when it comes to writing, excuse me, I mean, when did that start early in age, or was this like after, like years later?
I was probably 40 when I first started. I'm
Oh
I'm
wow.
54 now, so uh,
Okay, well, that's interesting. I mean, of course. I mean, were you still doing pen to paper, or were you everything online?
everything was computer. Just sit down at my laptop and start typing. See where the day takes
Nice,
me.
No, no, definitely, bro. And what is it that you started writing about? I mean, of course, you were a gamer, so were these like game related, or was it just life?
Um, the first one I wrote was about a supervillain and her henchmen, and so it really focused more on the henchman side of things, and just the weird adventures they wound up getting into. That was kind of fun. I recently branched out into science fiction. I dabbled a little bit in kind of horror, kind of not. I've never managed to go truly to the horror side of things, which is something I should probably explore sometime. But there's a lot of horror elements that pop up. It's just not a true horror story.
Gotcha, gotcha. No, and of course, I mean, you got to write what. I don't want to say what you know because I'm sure when it comes to horror. I mean, you've got a couple of good films and favorites, but I mean, it's got to make sense. I mean, if you're not feeling it, I mean, you're not going to force yourself, right?
Yeah, I can't get to the end and kill off everybody. I just feel too bad. Maybe a romantic at heart or something here.
Man, it could be worse. You could let everybody live, and now they gotta work forever, right?
Right. Yeah. You survive the onslaught, but you still have to go to work tomorrow.
No, yeah, yeah, no kidding, man. But yeah, when it comes to work, I mean, of course, you do work full time, so this is throughout the week. So, being that you work at home, I mean, do you have more leisure time, or is your time on the clock? Are you like, do you have to be online?
When I'm on the clock, I'm on the clock, and it's fairly flexible work in that I'm a programmer, so that's kind of feast or famine.
Oh, okay, okay.
And there are some times when it is just balls to the wall for weeks at a time, and then other times when I'm sitting here going, what do I do now? So I'm kind of in a what do I do now phase right now.
No, no, for sure. One of the things is always keep busy, right? Because I'm at work and I'm like, man, there's nothing to do, but I'm not gonna go tell the boss that because she'll find something for me to do, man.
Oh yeah. And when there's nothing to do, God, those days just drag.
Yeah.
Start
No,
slumping
no.
down at your seat, taking a nap, whatever. But I like to be busy. It makes things go faster. I enjoy it more.
Yeah, dude. I mean, by all means, man. I mean, that's the same here. I mean, as soon as I clock in, like, I mean, I do, and this is like every day. I mean, I do a lot more in like the first 2 hours than I do the rest of the day.
Hmm.
But it's because I'm running, I'm here, I'm there, I'm like, and so it's always like after 10:30, I'm like, damn, okay, now what do I do, man? Like, let me backtrack, or I always try to give myself a little project just to kind of keep myself busy because last thing I want to do is keep looking at the clock.
Yeah, you look at it and it's moved a minute, and an
Yeah.
hour later moved another minute. Yeah, anytime I do, I'm happiest.
You see, the worst one is when it goes back. You're like, oh, what
Well,
happened? Going back in time.
damn it, it was 4 o'clock a little while ago.
Man, let me ask you an interesting question for myself. I mean, having pets, are your pets in these books? These published?
No, I don't usually write the pets into them.
Oh, okay.
I have. There was one book I wrote that it was called "Greetings from Sunny Luna" that one of our dogs kind of wound up in, and that I think like 4 people read the book, and I never did it again. But that was about as close as I got.
You were like, you tried, huh?
Yeah, gave it a shot. Book just didn't flat out work, so
Yeah.
that one kind of got pushed to the side and move on.
No, and of course, I mean, when it comes to publications, for the most part, I mean, these are available on Amazon.
Yeah, everything I've written is available on Amazon. Most of it's pretty cheap too, so a few bucks. I don't like to charge 15, $16, especially I'm relatively unknown. Who's going to spend $15 on a relatively unknown author? So $3. I mean, I'm doing this as much for myself, my own sanity, as I am doing for anybody else who wants to read them. So if you want to
Okay,
spend
and
$3,
yeah,
great,
bro.
go ahead.
I was gonna say that's cheaper than a cup of coffee, man. So yeah,
Yeah, it is. And
dude.
for the last one, for occultation here, I didn't set the price. That was from, I think Jacob Floyd set that with Nightmare Press. Everything else has been independent, or I had a publisher and then the publisher went out of business. So
Uh,
kind of keeping my fingers crossed that this is the third publisher I've had, and hopefully Nightmare
this
Press
is
will.
it, huh?
I would feel really bad if they collapsed also.
No, no, no. Yeah, man, they've been going strong, man. So I don't see that happening. So I mean, definitely good people. I actually interviewed him first, years, 2 years back. But I mean, when he told me he was, his company and he had other ones, I was like, dude, keep them coming. I was like, hey, keep me busy.
Yeah, he seems like a great guy. I haven't had a chance to like sit down and really chat with him, but he seems like a decent dude.
No,
So
no, no. Yeah, I mean, he means well. I
oh, yeah,
think that's one of the things with. I mean, I also know indie filmmaker that has a streaming service for films, and they're relatable because they're like, man, I'm just trying to do something that I want. I wanted to,
right.
somebody would have done it to me for me or whatever, but and it makes sense. It is indie. I mean, the whole name of the game, like you said, you're relatively unknown, but
Yeah,
who knows, man? I mean, it's like I tell people. I mean, when it comes to the podcast or anything I do, I say as long as I'm big somewhere, if I'm big in the Philippines, I said I'll take it.
yeah, yeah.
I'm
Every
like,
now and then, every now and then, I'd get a review from like India, and I was like, wow, how the hell did that happen? So that was kind of cool.
dude, oh really? It did happen.
It did. Yeah, I got
Oh man, okay, that's
a couple,
interesting.
couple reviews from overseas, which how the heck did somebody in India, and I think I had a couple from China, and it's like,
Oh,
where did you guys find this? But hey, it's a digital world, so I guess it's pretty easy to come across these things.
they found it, brother. Yeah, and I was gonna say too because I used to have a zine, underground magazine back in the like
Mhm.
early '90s, and everything was snail mail. I used to post stamps and ship
Yeah.
everything everywhere, and having to wait like 3 weeks, 4 weeks for interviews to come back, and it was just like a waiting game, But now it's like a click of a button, man. So
Oh yeah, and it's poof out there. Yeah, I did some writing for a college zine. One of my buddies down the hall from
oh,
me
sweet.
had he had a magazine called Just Say Ska, I think. And it was skateboarding and punk rock.
Oh, sweet. Heck yeah, dude. That's what I'm saying. I mean, mine was mostly punk rock, ska music back then. I mean, but it was and that's the thing too because I used to distribute to a couple of record labels, and they would send me vinyl, and I used to sell it here out of trunk, man. I go to shows, park, pop my trunk, and sell out of trunk, right? But because of them, I mean, one of them was in Germany, the other one in Spain, one in England,
Yeah.
New Mexico, and New Jersey, and because of them, like I used to get fan mail from like
Oh, cool.
Germany or Hawaii, and they're like, "Hey, I found your about your zine," and I'm like, "Dude," and it's for me. I mean, thinking about it now, it's amazing because back then you actually had to put a little bit more effort. You had to write a
Oh
letter
yeah.
and get a stamp, and now it's like a click of a button. So I don't see why more people don't do that, man. I think they should.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm sure there's plenty of stories out there, plenty of things you could be doing. I mean, it's super easy. It takes a little bit of technical prowess, but not much. Just start
No,
going and put it
I
out.
mean, it beats having to go outside and buy a stamp.
Oh yeah, very much so.
My man. And now, of course, I mean, when it comes to the publication, I mean, this is your latest one.
It
Oh,
is. Yeah.
not the wrong one, but that was the background.
Oh,
And I mean, there you go. Even better, brother. Even better. There you go. I'm gonna keep that background, man. I actually like it. Where is it? Boom. There you go. We'll go ahead and
oh,
rock
cool.
with that one. But yeah, I mean, tell us a little bit about this. I mean, what is this one about?
Well, this is my first sci-fi story. I don't know how it happened, but I grew up reading science fiction, and for some reason started writing urban fantasy. So I wanted to kind of get back to what I knew. And this is basically about a hacker who deletes her mind and a guy who gets stuffed into her body to find out what the heck happened to her.
Oh,
And
damn.
so it's just this weird little winding story about what happened to this woman and ultimately what happens to the guy that got stuck in her body to try and track it all down. And you got aliens, you got virtual reality, little Lovecraftian in a lot of ways, but very watered down from the traditional Lovecraft.
Yeah.
But you got the cults, you got the minions, you got the big bad alien out there. So it's a lot of fun to write, and it was hopefully a lot of fun to read too.
No, no, for sure. And of course, and that's what I was going to ask you because it is on Amazon, so it's on digital and paper.
Mm-hmm.
Paper print. Oh, sweet, man. I know, and I keep saying, and I mean, I'm gonna expect for you guys to hold me alive, keep me on check. But I mean, I definitely want to start collecting. When it comes to books, at my work, I think it was last year, we actually, or some of the people had started a book group, right? And they were like, yeah, we're gonna read a book. It lasted like a week, maybe. Everybody was out for it, but then it just kind of went nowhere, and people just started chit chatting, and I got off that group thing. But I think it's cool because I mean, my work's like great place to work at, man. I mean, they actually give us like our own relaxation type room where you can go and there's no noise. You can go read a book. There's a TV, but hardly anybody puts it on. Everybody just kind of takes a little nap and whatnot, dude. So,
Oh,
you know,
nice.
props to them for doing that because I was like, man, if I was full time, I'd definitely be taking advantage of it, man. I'm part time, so I walk by there and have to, sit down every once in a while.
Nice. That's pretty nice little perk to have at a place is, they
Yeah,
encourage you to
bro.
pull back and relax a little bit.
That's why I keep telling my boss because they have they have meetings, they have like groups of like 100, 150 people coming through, and they have food. And
Wow.
man, there's a lot of food. There's always food everywhere. And I'm like, dude, I wish I would have worked there like in the, when I was like 19, 20, man, because I was starving. I was out there trying to pay rent and pay my car note and everything else. But I mean, but yeah, it's a great place. It's definitely the environment. I mean, I've always told people, if I don't want to be somewhere, if I don't like it, I'll leave, and I'm staying there. I mean, heck, no
Cool.
complaints.
Yeah, there's nothing quite like finding a place that you can fit in and feel comfortable with.
No, no, for sure, man. Now let me ask you, bro, because you said you started writing to get away from games. So I mean, are you still involved in playing games?
Oh hell yeah, you can't get away from those things.
What's your
They're like an
go-to?
addiction.
What's a good one for you?
What was that?
What's a good game for you? I mean, what's one that you always keep going back to?
Actually, I'm on my second playthrough of Cyberpunk, which has been a lot of fun. They
That's
did some
sweet.
pretty creative stuff with that. I gather, I got my son a copy of it when it first came out because he was just bouncing off the walls over the whole thing, and I guess it was buggy as hell. So like walking along and a car fall out of the sky and stuff like that. But they smoothed it all out, and it's a pretty killer story, and it's a lot of fun to play that. Um, Played a lot of Civilization. That just kind of goes back to my old geekiness from what early '90s when we were playing video games in the publication office in college. So I like the shooters, and I like a lot of things actually.
Yeah. No, no, and of course, I mean, these are games that you play at home, or do you do the whole online gaming?
I only play single player. I've done online, and I don't have the time to dedicate to get really good at it.
Yeah.
Uh, I was playing, what the heck was it? Some shooter game, and it's the only time I've ever tried to play anything online. And I would spawn in, and they'd shoot me, and then I'd spawn in, and they'd shoot me, and I was like, "How is this fun, man?" So I
I'm
finally
sure they were enjoying it.
someone else was having a great time.
Yeah, bro, dude, and that's one thing because I have a buddy of mine that actually wants to start doing that, like online, and I was just like, man, I just never got into it. I know it's a Twitch, I think it's one of
Right.
them, but yeah, man, it looks cool. It's just
Yeah.
like you said. I mean, for me to spend that much time away from doing everything else, I can't see that. It's
Right. Yeah.
exciting to me.
My son got really into it, and he actually got really good to the point that he would piss people off in I think Titanfall because he had all the time in the world when he was in junior high to just practice and practice and
Yeah,
practice and practice, and so he just tore people up. And then he kind of got tired of it and moved on to other things.
he was like, I'll let everybody live, huh?
Yeah.
Man, and that's pretty cool. I mean, I know, you had mentioned as far as gaming. I mean, I never shoot. I think the closest I got to like the PlayStation One, and that was it. I mean, I did Nintendo. I did Atari from like growing up in the '80s. Hand me downs, but I never got into the whole like digital, online. I wouldn't
Yeah.
mind. I mean, I've seen it. It's just a lot of those games are like all over the place, man. I don't know. I don't know. If my eyes could take it, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and you got to have the hardware, and you got to have the time to
Yeah,
practice it. And I like
true.
something where I can just bring it up on my laptop, play for a little while, get tired of it, and just shut down and go do something else. So I don't have to get crazy obsessive to get any good at it.
No, no, yeah, and then everybody starts hating you because you keep logging off, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're on the team, man. No, not really.
Yeah, I'm out,
Yeah.
my man. And of course, New Mexico. I mean, I know I've had some buddies go. They've trained out there. I mean, I've got a couple of guys that fight in the UFC, MMA. They
Oh,
keep talking
gotcha.
about this high altitude, man. So what's the high altitude up there? I mean, what is it? Because you say you've been in San Antonio before. So what would be the difference?
Well, I haven't been in San Antonio in probably like 30 years or so. We're at 6,000 feet or something along those lines.
Okay.
And so, I've never done professional fighting. I do Kenpo. And,
Okay.
I guess practicing up here, it's normal to me. But if I go practice somewhere like, we travel, and if we're at a lower altitude, I'll go out and do a little practicing. And it's easier at the lower altitudes. So I guess if you want to build up some breath and stamina, come way up here. Used to be big into
No,
cycling also, and 6,000 feet is the altitude's a little thinner. But I mean, I see people going up to Sandias, and that's up to 12,000 or something like that.
yeah, no, yeah. I think I drove through there one time on a road trip years back, and yeah, when we started walking it, and I'm like, yeah, let's go get the car. Let's drive up there, But it was fun though. But there was a lot of bicyclists, and yeah, I mean, I'm sure growing up there, your lungs are just that great.
Yeah, just used to it, I guess. So your buddies, are they training down at with Winklejohn?
I've had some. This is years back, but yeah, a lot of them that was their go-to. They used to train out there with them. Uh, Cowboy Cerrone, I know they went to his gym a couple of times. Uh,
Gotcha.
yeah, but it's just this was like years back. I mean, I know I had a buddy of mine like 2 years ago. He was supposed to fight out there, and
Mm,
so we were like, man, we got to emulate that high altitude. And he had bought one of those breathing mechanisms, and I said, man, just go swimming, man. Just start doing laps.
yeah,
Like we can work them lungs, man. But that fight got scrapped, so he didn't get to go, and it's unfortunate. But the fight game, man, people get injured and they pull out.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I've met Winklejohn many times actually. He used to be one of the Kenpo instructors back way many years ago. So he'd
Oh,
come to all of our black belt tests, and so I met him a few times. And then when the Grand Master died, the Kenpo organization,
yeah.
and he's got his own school downtown. I drive by it every now and then. And my
Oh,
teacher keeps in contact with it. So
yeah, I had no idea he was he started out with Kempo, or at
yeah,
least
I don't know if he started out there, but he spent a lot of time in
yeah.
the Kenpo school and was very well respected.
No,
So
no. I mean, especially everything he's done throughout the years. Because I mean, I remember his gym particularly, like all the fighters coming out of New Mexico, like early UFC days. But I mean, he
mhm.
had a lot of fighters fighting in California. Like all over the what would it be, the West Coast.
All right.
But yeah, so he definitely built a name in the camp, and he's had a lot of big names go through his camp too. So great
Yeah,
guy,
he was
coach.
a really nice guy from what I recall, and he was one of those people that would just probably tear you apart without even thinking twice about it. So
No, no, for sure, man. And when it comes to yourself, man, Campo, man, how long did you? How old were you when you started that?
let's see, I started in '99, so I was 28, and I've mostly kept going with it. There were times where I took a 3 4 year break or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fun. I mean, the older you get, the harder it gets, obviously. And there's no way in hell I'd step into the ring. Not that I ever would, but yeah, it's great fun, and it's a nice feeling to just get in there and throw punches and kicks and wing some stuff around.
No, no, for sure. I mean, it's one of the things about getting older, man. You don't want to stop moving. So
Yeah, definitely
doing
not.
doing anything, even going for a walk definitely helps.
Yep, yep, yeah. I think if I stopped, I mean, I'd probably blossom up to 400 pounds. I mean, I've already got trouble with my knees, so that would probably just be shot. So it's easier to just keep going.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, dude. And I keep saying I'm gonna jump back on. I actually ordered some training gear because I went through the whole MMA back when, but I mean, we started training in freestyle fighting back in '99, actually. So,
Oh, cool.
from there to doing gi, no gi, like Russian sambo, leg locks, all that crazy stuff, man. But
Oh, nice.
I wanna get back on it, man. I mean, I know the first thing I'm gonna learn how to redo is tap.
Yeah, yeah. I never did any of the grappling. It's one of the things that I probably should do at some point,
Yeah.
just to get a feel for it. But yeah, I really enjoy it. I don't spar as much as I used to, but that was a lot of fun back in the day too.
Yeah, no, yeah. You see, one of the things, because I mean, our style was very unorthodox. Like we used to, like I said, I mean, we used to do gi, no gi,
Hmm.
uh, like the tops, like Russian sambo, right? I mean, no shorts, whatever. But it's when we used to roll. I mean, for me personally, like I used to roll with guys that would do jujitsu, and it's like it's kind of like a lot of the moves are predetermined because everybody that's doing jujitsu is like reacting the same way, rolling the same way, doing. And
Right.
so, like when I would roll with them, I noticed that a lot of them were kind of like, oh crap, they were second guessing themselves because I wouldn't move like a jujitsu guy, and it's
Yeah.
kind of odd to think about it, but it's like it was more like a cash wrestling style, very aggressive. But I mean, the fact that we wore the pants and the gi helped because now we're going against a gi guy or a judo guy, we'd be able to control the way we would, normally, man. So it kind of kind of had his advantage.
Right. Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about Sambo. I've seen it.
Yeah.
Obviously never studied it, but I mean, it looks pretty cool.
No, yeah, yeah, and I think it's just I mean, pretty much everything, even as far as even jujitsu, it goes from like being a sport to being like a self defense. It's
Right.
there's a big difference, but yeah, man, as long as people go, keep moving and keep doing something, man, it's all good.
Oh yeah. Yeah. As soon as you stop, you start to fall apart.
Yeah,
Injuries
definitely.
hit you.
My man, and of course now this book publication. I mean, are you working on anything right now?
Yeah, actually, I've got a uh, precursor to this one that is done. So it's set 500 years before occultation. And then I have the sequel, the direct sequel, which is about 100 years afterwards. And I'm kind of
Oh,
plotting how the whole thing is going to end in the fourth book. So I haven't gotten to even starting the fourth yet, but it's kind of putting all of these pieces
yeah,
together to try and come up with a coherent story that spans, 700 years or something like that, even though the vast majority of the time, nothing really interesting is going on.
man, and of course, I mean, no spoilers, but I mean, you are planning to end it after the fourth one.
As far as I know, yeah. I mean, at least the main primary portion of the
Right.
story. So we'll see how all of that plays out. Every time I've had a plan for a book, I start writing and it just goes in a completely
Yeah,
different
yeah.
direction.
I was gonna say you have a foundation or a base, and then after that, it's like what? Let me do this. Let
Yeah.
me change the storyline. And
Well, it's
of
like,
course, I mentioned earlier, man. I mean, when it comes to if you've ever put like your dogs in a book, but I mean, have you used like real? I don't want to say real people, but I mean, have you used like influences like from people around you?
I will pull personality
Right.
traits
Right.
from some people. In fact, a couple of the big characters in the book, The Precursors, this one are a couple of scientists I worked with out at AFRL. And so I just kind of pulled in partially their names and a little bit about their personalities, but not really them per se.
Right.
Just kind of their notions. Most of the time, I try to build characters out of whole cloth, but you can't say that there's no other external influence to something, because I'll
Right.
be like, oh yeah, I had this great idea, and then I'll be reading a book and I'll be like, damn, that's where that came from.
Yeah.
So I
You
mean,
see,
everything builds up in your head and has to come out something.
no, and it's one of those things because even like in the I jump on a lot of indie films. I do acting. I jump on
Mhm.
features and all, but I've noticed like in the indie film world, um, people there's a lot of movies that kind of like okay, somebody else is doing that. The title, the same. Now I
Right.
don't want to say the same format because I'm sure the storylines are different, but it's just like there's so much like easy. It's easy for you to pick from anywhere. I mean, especially I don't know how films work. I know you can copyright, you can put certain things legality wise, but um, I think I read somewhere like if I were to make a movie and call it Scream, right? For example, I mean
Mhm.
legally I can, but it's not going to be, of course, related to this movie. It's just I don't know. It's just kind of one of those things because for every time I do something, I always try to find the name and to make sure nobody else has it or is using it. So
Right.
I try
Right.
to like stand out that way, but it's just like man, like everything's being used, so you're kind of like damn, having to change words and letters and add a
Yep.
number or whatever. But yeah, I can only imagine. I mean, the same thing with writing because obviously you're gonna write about things that you've been through, you've seen and
Yeah.
read. So yeah, imagination's gonna be all over the place, man.
Yeah. Even 2,000 years ago, they were saying, there's nothing new under the sun, and it's just, we keep on building, 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 and there's going to be some similarities to everything, but hopefully you don't take the whole thing whole cloth.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say it's all just like little traits and but not the whole storyline, right?
Right, right. You can make the argument that Star Wars was, in a lot of ways, a rip of Dune. I mean, there's
Yeah.
a lot of similarities there.
No, yeah, and I've been down that rabbit hole even with the like Masters of the Universe, even with a lot of these movies, and it's basically the people that had the money were the ones that got to see more. So it's kind of like back then, a movie came out, but the money wasn't there, so of course not that many people saw it. So you know, like the other film, whatever has the funds, and boom, it's like it skyrockets, and it's like damn,
Yeah.
just like with everything, right? If we have money to advertise, and life be a lot easier, man.
Yeah, I guess it's probably the same in the indie film world as it is in the indie book world. Is it's getting people to go see it, and there's so much out there that people can do. So you got to have an enormous advertising budget, and you got to hit just the right people. And I mean, the indie writing world is the same way.
Yeah.
There's probably great stories out there that you don't know about because how could you? I mean, I forget how many thousands of new books get published on Amazon every year. It's
Oh man, imagine. I mean, because I know even like I think last year I started like digging into like horror films from outside the country. I started looking at Australia from the 80s, 90s,
oh wow,
and man, I started finding a lot of gems, man. Like I was like, damn, but we never saw them because, of course, they weren't being shown here in the U.S. And but I mean, it just even then, like it took me back, and I was like, wow, like I wonder how many films could have been like the one if they would have had that money to transfer like they do now. You have a lot of these films that are coming out now from outside the country, and they're hitting big here in the U.S. And it's just
yeah.
the money's there, the push. But
It
yeah,
was like
it makes you wonder, man.
it was like that big push for Japanese horror about what 20 some odd years ago,
Yeah,
and it just kind of came up out of nowhere, and everybody's like, oh wow, this is really cool,
yeah,
and
it's
it's
different.
very Japanese and
Yeah,
very different. But yeah, I mean, if you if who was it that wrote oh, what was it, Loop, the one with the girl that crawls out of the TV. That was originally a, Japanese horror story. I
yeah,
think it was Koji Suzuki that wrote that.
yeah.
And yeah, I mean, the book was great. The follow-ons were not quite as
No,
spectacular. But
yeah,
the first one was good, and then they made a cool movie out of it, and then the American version of it came along. So it makes you wonder, like, what else is floating around out there that you've never heard of that would be just like mind blowing.
no, yeah. Because I know even you mentioned the Japanese movie, but I mean even like a lot of those TV shows, like they used to have to run through like courses and stuff. Like I used to watch that stuff from the Japanese channel way back when, and
All
in
right.
the 80s, and then in the 90s, and when they started doing like American Gladiator and all these other shows, and they weren't as bad though, because those Japanese ones, man, you get your butt kicked, bro. It was brutal,
Yeah.
but the ones here were a little bit more calm. It wasn't as bad physically.
Yeah, that was one of the fun things about going to Japan. We went a long time ago and spent a couple of weeks there.
Oh,
But I
nice.
mean, even just sitting in the hotel at night watching Japanese TV, like, all the stuff that people say about how it's crazy and completely unpredictable, it is 100% true. It is some of
Oh,
the
yeah.
wildest stuff I've ever seen, but so awesome.
Man, what were you guys doing out there, man? This is a family trip.
It was basically a family trip. Some friends of ours down in Cruces were running a, tuner shop at the time, and
Okay.
so they wanted to go see the Tokyo Auto Salon, which I was like, yeah, I'd love to see some hot Japanese cars. So we flew out and we spent a couple weeks wandering around, and we spent a day at the Tokyo Auto Salon. And these guys were trying to make contacts, and we were just all over the place, wandering around Tokyo and having a blast. But yeah, the TV was great. The people are so nice. I gather it's not quite the same if you try to live there, but for visitors, man, they were super cool.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, because I think I'm sure they want you to visit, but you start overstaying your welcome. They're gonna be like,
Yeah,
hey, time to get out, man.
and culturally, it's pretty different from the United States, and it was hard to learn to adapt to it because I wanted to be a good tourist and not like I
Yeah,
don't know, wear the bathroom shoes around the house or something like that. But it took some effort to kind of be like, okay, that's different. I probably need to just adapt. I'm in their world right now, and then you go home and you hit Albuquerque and it's like, oh God, you guys are so rude because the Japanese were extremely nice but very very formal. So it was fun
no,
time.
yeah. I mean, I can definitely see that. I mean, because even a couple years back, I used to deliver. I was a contract delivery driver for Big Lots, and I delivered to this one Air Force guy, and his wife was Japanese,
Hmm.
and like it was like I was walking inside the house, and he's like, "Oh, can you take off your shoes?" And I'm like looking at him, and I'm like, "Bro, I got boots, dude." Like I said, "You know what?" I said, "I have shoe covers." I said, "I can put them on," and he's like, "Yeah, yeah, please." So I put them on,
Yeah.
and like the same thing with him. He was in uniform, and so every time we go in with a piece of furniture, because he had to help me because he bought like a bunch of. So every time we go in, she'd be like, "Shoes, shoes."
Yeah.
We're like. So he's all like, "Hey man, let me take off my boots." And I was like, "Damn!" It took us a little bit longer, but yeah, man, it's all about respect, and of course, it makes
Right.
sense. You don't want to be dragging dirt and everything else in your home.
Yeah, exactly. And it was the little things that kind of caught me. I'd known about like you don't wear shoes inside the house, but you never hand money directly to somebody. So when you go to pay for something, even if you're using your debit card or your cash or whatever, they give you a little tray. You put the money in the tray. Well, I tried to like my debit card directly to somebody, and he like almost recoiled at me, and I was like, "Oh,
Oh,
sorry, bro."
damn! And that makes sense because we have a. It's like, man, been here for years, man. But we have a Chinese store that they sell Chinese food, but they do
Mhm.
that. And I never thought about that because every time I try to pay, they just give me the tray, and I'm like, I said,
Yeah,
okay, I just thought it was formal, but it makes sense.
yeah, yeah. It's just a different cultural thing, and it made sense, I guess.
No,
Works
no,
for
yeah.
me.
I mean, especially when we're out there visiting, right? I mean, you got to
Yeah,
comply a little bit. You don't want to be that one American tourist that ruins it for the rest of us, man.
yeah. Walking around. I would say walking around drinking a beer, but you can actually do that in Japan. I mean, they've got alcohol vending machines. You're just really supposed to stand next to the vending machine while you drink the beer. But yeah, you can
Damn,
pop a beer and nobody cared.
on a vending machine.
Out of a vending machine, man. The vending
Damn, okay.
machines are amazing over there. It's a
Damn.
multi-billion-dollar industry for
No, no, I can imagine. I mean, I don't think I'd want to see that here, but I
them.
mean,
Yeah,
here in San Antonio, but yeah, man, at least get a beer to go home and relax, right?
right, right.
My
So
man,
yeah,
now let me ask you. I mean, the year's still young. I mean, of course, you when it comes to the publication, you say you are writing another book. Now, have you ever done scripts? Have you ever like tried to get into film?
I considered it briefly a while back, and I actually have a book around here someplace about how to write a script because I mean it's
Oh,
very different from writing fiction.
right.
I just haven't sat down to do it. I took a playwriting class in college, so I mean there's some similarities there, but that was 30 some odd years ago. But
Okay.
yeah, I'd actually like to be able to write a script because if you want to get a book shown, get it into a movie. And it doesn't matter how good, bad, indifferent the book is. If the movie is successful, people will go buy the book.
Right. No, yeah, definitely. They want to see where it came from. So,
Right.
well, that's cool, man. And I mean, of course, are you planning on doing that maybe this year?
I really should get off my lazy duff and figure out how to write a movie script and translate something that I've written into an actual script. It would give me a chance, especially with the earlier stuff, to do some critical rewrites on it. But it'd be nice to be able to say, "Hey, look, here's something new. You guys don't have to keep rebooting Masters of the Universe or the nth Marvel movie or whatever. Here's something that's fresh."
Yeah, somebody had asked me because I saw the trailer and they were like, "Man, what you think?" And I said, "Well, it's not my Masters of the Universe, man. Like, I mean, I'm an '80s kid. I saw the original one. I
Yeah.
said, it's the next generation. I said they can have it. I'm good with that. But yeah, it's just, I mean, it's time to come out with something new. They keep trying to
Right.
rebrand, redo. You know, how how can I say this without sounding too? But a lot of the films, I mean, they change the characters, and I get it, but it's just like they're trying to change. I mean, they change it so much that it's like at that point, just make it a new movie. Like,
Yeah.
why even use the title? Why even just, what, make it a new movie and let's go, But they keep trying to use the nostalgia to get us older folks to remember and want to see it because of it.
Yeah. And I know it costs a fortune to make a movie, so they're kind of risk averse about these things. But every time I see them, rehash the same story or put out, another movie from a series or something like that, it's kind of like there are a gajillion indie books out there that you could probably pick up for a freaking song and a dance. They'd be happy to hand you the story just for the exposure. But then, we get another copy of Masters of the Universe. And I shouldn't diss it. I haven't seen the movie. But like you're saying, I grew up with the original. And
Yeah. No,
I don't
yeah.
have a great desire to see the new one.
No, no. I mean, for me, I don't. I mean, if I, if I'm sitting down one day and it just happens to come on, then I'll sit, I'll watch it. But I mean, as far as like me voluntarily going, like, I'm good with what I've seen. I mean, I know they've tried it before, and it's never been good. But
Yeah.
who knows? I'll let the reviews start coming in, and I'll go from there.
And it's so expensive to go to the movies anymore that if I'm going to go, I want to see a good movie. I want to
Yeah.
have an experience. I want to be able to walk out and go like, wow, that was pretty awesome. Of course, I say that, and the last movie I saw was the most recent SpongeBob movie, which frankly was actually pretty fun.
No, do you see? And I will say this though, because when my kids were younger, I mean, we go to these cartoon ones, and I love them, man. I mean,
Oh yeah,
all the kids are all energetic and singing and dancing, and I'm like, all right, cool, man. Like,
yeah.
it's all hands on deck. But yeah, the movie definitely. I mean, I still try to make it out there. For the most part, it's one of those. You know, I see the reviews, and I do a lot of movie trailer reviews. So if it's something that I'm like, man, I want to see that, then yeah, definitely I'll make time. The prices, they just like everything else have gone up. I think the only thing that keeps going higher is the snack prices, but
Yeah,
the movie
yeah,
tickets, it's like we have these passes that we get like on the quarterly, I think, and it's just already paid for, so we just show up. But
nice.
yeah, man, it's all and it's always empty. We go on Saturdays or Sundays, and I think the thing now is to go like the day it comes out, which is Thursday.
Oh,
You
gotcha.
know? Oh, I mean, they can have that. I'll wait a day or two.
One nice thing about the movie experience lately is that they have actually started making things comfortable.
Yeah,
We've got a Flicks Brew House right down the street, and I think you guys have one in San
yeah. I
Antonio.
was gonna say, yeah,
That is like our go-to place. You go, it's comfortable. You can get food, you can drink a beer, you can enjoy the movie. I mean, it's still not cheap, but it's probably no worse than getting a movie ticket and then getting some snacks at the theater too.
yeah.
And it's
No,
it's comfortable to sit, and I like that.
yeah, because here too we have the Alamo Draft House.
Oh, right, right, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So that is
So I mean, with them, I think out of Austin, but I mean, we have plenty of them here, and I like the concept. I like the idea, man. But the times that I've gone, and you're watching a movie, and here comes this waiter, like, and I'm just like,
right
man,
in front of you.
yeah, like what the heck? And they do their best to try to duck down, but I'm just like, bro, like, but yeah, that's the only thing. I was just like, yeah, it's not for me. I get the whole concept, and yeah, I wouldn't mind. It's got to be to where like you order it and then you go sit down. But the fact that
Right,
they're out there, and I think they work for tips by, they gotta. I don't know how much they get paid an hour, but I know tips are always welcome, so I'm pretty sure that's why
right.
they hustle.
Yeah, yeah.
But for those that enjoy it, by all means, man, at least make them higher. Make the seats higher, and just
Oh yeah.
they can walk under me all they want. Heck,
Yeah, I think ours is at a kind of a steepish angle because they can walk by and you don't even notice them.
oh
So
man,
maybe that's just the way it is here for ours. I don't know.
yeah, no, yeah, that or they're just shorter, shorter people, man. Because the times that we've been here, like it's just noticeable. I mean, enough for me to be like, okay, yeah, I'm not into that, but yeah, man, it was the seats definitely. The sound, the surrounding sound, and all that
Oh
was
yeah.
definitely great. But everything as far as that was the only thing. But yeah, man, I mean, films, they're still out there. I know there's a lot of indie films that have been getting on the big screen because of the lack of Hollywood movie, or
Right.
not Hollywood movies, but I mean, a lot of them going straight to stream. They have their
Mhm.
own streaming services now, so they just go get on there, and good for them. But it's like the theaters have been slowly dying.
Yeah. Well, what was it? Iron Lung apparently is a great movie. I have not had a chance to see it. My son and one of his friends went and saw it, and they were like, "It's awesome." So maybe we'll
Nice.
go see that one.
Somebody
And
was telling me. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
it's just apparently it's tearing it up. I mean, he's making a ton of money off of basically an indie version of a video game
Yeah.
that not a whole lot of people heard of. So good, more power to him, man. It's a new story. I like that.
No, yeah, because somebody was telling me. I actually did I dropped a movie trailer review yesterday, and I saw the trailer and I read up on it, enough, and I was like, damn, like I didn't realize it was he used his own money, YouTuber guy, gaming. I mean, he had a lot of characters that have been in the gaming world when it comes to voice acting and everything else. So I thought that was perfect because I'm like, dude, the
Yeah.
gamers are gonna eat it up. But there was one line, and I told the my guest earlier. I was telling them because he was talking about using blood in his film, and I told him, I said, man, there's a movie that I reviewed, and I couldn't remember the name. I went blank, but where they used like 800,000 gallons of blood.
Yeah, more fake blood than any other movie in history.
Yes, bro. I was like,
That's
holy
cool.
crap. So that's crazy. But yeah, man, and it looked great. I mean, the
Oh,
trailer
yeah.
did look great. The one thing I did say was when I was watching it, because I try to do this at work before I clock in, and I
Mhm.
usually just watch the trailer the day before, and then in the morning I'll watch it again, and then I run it. But I turned off my lights because the movie itself is real dark. So
Right.
when I turned off my lights, it was perfect, and I said, okay, that's like definitely a perk. When you go to the theaters, everything's closed off, and it's just like boom. I can imagine, but it definitely looked great, man. So yeah, they're out there, and it's indie, man. I mean, the guy, like I said, used his own money. Um, some I was reading somewhere where they said they took him off because he was breaking records, and they took him off. I forgot what list, and
Oh, yeah, yeah. I saw something about that. Yeah, they took him off of the top grossing movies or something like that.
yeah, and I was like, people were like commenting, and they were like, man, what he was competing with the big dogs, so they just
Right.
voted him off, man. But I mean, good
But
for him, man.
they did put him back on, I guess.
Oh,
So,
okay, good. Yeah, because they were saying it was like a glitch or something, and I said, well, man, powers to be, they control
yeah.
everything, but the fact that he made it happen with less money than a lot of these bigger productions. And that's
Yeah.
kind of one of the things because I'm sure even when it comes to books, I mean, if you get a good hook and you get a good storyline, I mean, people are gonna eat it up. They're gonna want to like keep reading and keep trying to see what else you've written. But I
Right.
mean, the film's the same way, man. I mean, there's a lot out there. I mean, you can go through a streaming service and there's like hundreds and hundreds just like the books being published yearly. There's like the same with the indie films, man. There's so many coming out, and a lot of great ones though. I'll give them
Oh, yeah.
that.
Some wonderful stuff that's coming out of, especially the indie movies.
Yeah.
Indie books. There's some really good stuff that comes out too. There are some that I'm like, you need to get an editor, but some brilliant things popping out of there as well.
No, and that's kind of why I brought that up earlier because I mean when it comes to authors or writers, I mean I always get some that are like, man, I want to do a film or I want to venture into that, and then there's some that are already doing that, and it just kind of makes sense. But like you said, it's got to be a little bit different. It's got to be a script. It's got to be
Right.
But I mean the stories are. I mean, they're a lot better than a lot of the films coming out on the big screen, man. Honestly, like that's where they got to put their money at. But you know, for the most part, I think their money's already paid. The movie's already paid, and they just got to do it. And whether it flops or not, they still get paid. And it's like, well,
Right.
might as well put
Yeah.
some effort.
One of my former bosses, he had taken his son out to Hollywood because his son wanted to be an actor. And, he got a little bit of an inside view on the whole thing. And it was like, they knew, what was it, Last Airbender, I think is what he had applied or auditioned for, and he didn't get the role. But, he was like, they knew from the get go that this thing was going to be just a big old steaming pile of crap. But they let it run anyway because they got to make back some of the amount of money that they threw
Yeah.
into it. So,
No, yeah, and it's all about investment. So I mean, the people
yeah.
that and I think they were saying somewhere where even if it flops, they just make a profit.
Yeah, you can write it. I guess they can write it off on their
Yeah.
taxes. They can bring back in, recoup some of what they lost on it at least. So
No,
I
and
don't know. It's weird business.
the biggest thing they were telling me, and I've read up, I got to read up on it again, but I forgot what film it was, but they were saying that like they'd rather not put it out there just to make the money. They take it as a loss, and they don't even put the film out. And I'm like, dude, like it made me wonder like how many movies have they've tried to make that they just get shelved and nobody ever sees them.
Yeah, what was it like? Batgirl, I think they made one. They
Yeah,
actually finished it, and then it just boom, sticking on
yeah,
a shelf someplace. It'll never get released, and I still don't understand why. But
yeah.
maybe it's just really bad. But
No,
I've
no,
heard
yeah. I
it's
mean, they were
good.
saying they were saying they get more credit or I guess tax credit with it being not even like being shown. Like they made it, everything's paid, everything's, but
Yeah.
because they don't show it, they just make their money back somehow. But that sucks. I want to watch a good movie, man. So
Oh, yeah. I would like to see it. Although it probably wouldn't live up to the hype now that we've heard
no, but
all these.
still, it's like give me a reason to get out of the house. Go to the
Right.
theater and enjoy it. But my man, when it comes to music, I mean, of course, being a writer, I mean, do you normally listen to music? And if so, what kind of music do you listen to?
I listen to a lot of different kinds of music. Got my Dropkick Murphys shirt on right now.
Oh, dude, hell yeah! I think they're coming over here. As a matter of fact, they're coming back.
Oh,
Yeah,
really? I
yeah.
may have to make a trip down there to go see them. We did a lot of traveling to see shows last year. So I tend towards a little bit louder, heavier. We went and did Ministry, Nights Are Ebb, and Decrups last year. We flew up to Seattle to see My Chemical Romance, which, if you have a chance to see the show, I don't know if you like their music or not. Amazing stage show.
Yeah.
We drove up to Denver to see Nine Inch Nails, which was one of those things that I'd always wanted to see, and that was an incredible show as well. And then plenty of stuff around here. We went and did Judas Priest and Alice Cooper last summer, which
Oh,
always
nice.
wanted to see Priest live. And you want to see Alice Cooper as many times as you can because he is not exactly a young man anymore,
Yeah.
but
True.
he still puts on a show. So I listened to a lot of stuff. We also went and saw was it Kula Shaker and the Dandy Warhols, and that was a great show up here in Santa Fe. Thievery Corporation put on an amazing show, which I would not have guessed from hearing their music. But they brought out a whole group of musicians and put on this just incredible show. And I'd always kind of assumed that they're sort of lo-fi electronica that they just had some mixtapes and stuff that they did, but it was actually
The real
brilliant
deal.
live show. Yeah, so I'm all over the place in terms of music.
No, for sure, man. I'm right there with you. I mean, I grew up with a little bit of everything. I mean, here in San Antonio. I mean, I was just telling the guest earlier, man. Like my older sister, she was still stuck on disco, man. So we grew up listening to disco. My two older brothers were metalheads, so they were like listening to Judas Priest, Black Sabbath, like the late '70s stuff.
Hmm.
And and then of course we were like '80s kids, so we grew up with all that, rap and all that. We went down that whole era, man. But
Oh yeah,
little bit of everything, and I kind of enjoyed it because it's like otherwise I wouldn't have heard a lot of this stuff, but it's good music nonetheless, man.
yeah. I introduced my son to classic rap like Ice T and Public Enemy and
Yeah.
NWA. When he was fairly young, and a lot of old metal. The stuff that I was listening to when I was in college, and it stuck. And now he listens to most of the stuff coming out. And he's like, "This is shit." Um, he just does not like modern music, but there's still good bands that are popping up. I guess we're gonna go see. Is it Motionless in White? It was one of the bands that he really, really, really wanted to see, and I'd never heard of them. So we're gonna go see them in June. We're gonna go see Evanescence, Lords of Acid, which apparently is going to be a hell of
Oh,
a show.
dude, they're still around.
Apparently, yeah, they're going to be.
Wow, I saw them back in early '90s, bro. That's whew, that brought back memory. Ministry too, man. I used to see them come through here quite a bit. I don't know if you've ever heard of a Thrilco Cult.
Yes, they were supposed to be on the tour. They picked up the tour with Ministry, Nights Are Ebb, and Decrups after they came to Albuquerque, and I would have loved to have seen Throw Kill Cult live.
Man, quick story, man. I was with a buddy of mine. They were playing. They were playing on a Saturday. Me and my buddy went to go eat breakfast. We go to this Mexican restaurant. We're sitting there, and like all the way at the end, I see these 5 people, man, and there's one black lady with bondage, bro. Like and big old tall girl, man. And I'm kind of like, what the heck are they doing this early? It was like early in the morning. And she was walking by and she was like, "Hey, y'all got a cigarette?" And my buddy's like, "Yeah," and give her a smoke. And she's like, "Oh, thanks, love." Goes outside. And I was like, and I said, "Dude, is that the band?" And we're kind of like, so on the way back, we're like, "Hey, are you guys still cold?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, yeah. We're gonna be playing tonight." And we're like, "Man, like we haven't gotten tickets, but yeah, we're going." And she's like, "What? No, no, no. Hey, and she called one of the guys over and she says, "Hey, get their names, put them on the list."
Oh,
And I
cool.
was like, and we were like, "Oh, damn, dude." So we went that night. And as soon as we get there, we go to there's like a line, bro. Like half the line didn't even get to go in. That's how freaking
Ooh.
crazy it was. But we go to the front and everybody's like, "Hey," we're like, "Hey, man, we're on the list, man." Sure enough, we're on the list. We went in
Oh,
and it was freaking awesome, dude. I was just like, "Oh, damn." That was like VIP, bro. But, you
that
know,
is that
I'll
is awesome.
offer a cigarette. So, hey.
And my wife used to work in concert promotion out here, and so she got to meet everybody that came through for like 2 years and worked behind the scenes, and
Oh,
got
nice.
to spend time talking to like Weird Al Yankovic, who was apparently a super nice guy. Got to meet everybody from Judas Priest, and she said I think Robert Halford is like this perfect English gentleman. Uh, you wouldn't expect. She had
Yeah,
to drive. Who's the lead singer from Poison? Brett Michaels.
very much.
She had
Yeah,
to drive him around all day while he
Hey,
was going to radio interviews. So That was a fun, little time because
Yeah,
I
man.
got to go to shows for free, and they had a box, and we got to go sit in the
Even
box.
better.
Nice, yeah.
Dude, you see, and that's kind of like when I had my zine. That's. I mean, it was like it wasn't like higher scale bands, but it was a lot of the bands that are hitting concerts now, right? But
Yeah.
like I used to interview, same thing. I just go in there and I'm like, hey, I interviewed the band. I have my zine with me, and they're like, oh yeah, yeah, come in, And I'm like, oh shit. That was like my first taste in media, to where I
Nice.
was just like, dude, I just told people I have a zine, I'm good. And sure enough, I would throw it everywhere I could just to see what I can get. And but man, I loved it because from there I got into like combat sports. I started training in MMA like in '99, like I mentioned earlier.
Right, right.
Buddy of mine had a website, media company called TexasFighting.com, which I own the name now, and that's actually sends everybody to my podcast. But we started covering the fights, man, going to the UFC fights, K-Side, we covered Bellator, Strike Force. Like, I mean, every regional promotion here in Texas, man, every big, I mean, it's like K-Side, bro. Like, everybody's like, dude, how the hell are you doing that? And I'm like, media, bro. Like, it was just, and even now with this, I go to events and I'm just like, hey, man, I need a media pass, bro. Like, I need something. Like, I don't want to be walking around taking pictures and people think I'm a creep. So I wanna have credentials, be like, hey, I'm taking these for the event or whatever. But yeah, man. I mean, I loved it. I still love it. I still cover combat sports, man. So it's like when these, they come through the city, I try to jump on them, man.
Oh yeah, that sounds like actually a lot of fun.
Bro, I got stories, man. We'll definitely save that for the next one because I've met a lot of great people, man. I've gotten to meet like Dana White. I've gotten to hang out with Randy Couture, you know, uh,
Very cool.
Cain Velasquez. Before this whole ordeal, like I got to hang out with him for a signing, and the same thing. I'm media. I go to the front. I'm like, hey, how's it going? Shake his hand, take his picture. I'm taking a photo, dude. Line freaking up around the block, dude. Like people are just waiting, and I'm over here like. Everybody, all my buddies are like, "Hey, get me in." I'm like, "Nah, bro, can't do it."
Nope, sorry, can't
But
do that.
man, but yeah, dude, I love it, man. But yeah, bro. I mean, martial arts. I mean, are you still training in Kempo?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I
Oh,
got my
really?
fourth black year and a half ago,
Oh,
and
nice, man.
it's a
Congratulations.
little unstructured now, but yeah, I just keep going and pick up something new. I guess if I ever stop learning, I'll switch and go study something else. But
You can get
it's
into MMA, bro. Never too
yeah,
late.
yeah, I'd get flattened in
You, you,
MMA.
you can go. You can touch base with Wink, right?
Yeah,
That's Wink, man. Tell him, hey, what's going on, buddy? No, no. But my man, dude, I thank you for jumping on here, man. I mean, for those that are watching, I mean, we are live on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook. I posted it on a few groups. But anything you want to say before we wrap this up, bro?
no, just thanks very much for meeting with me, man. It's actually fun to talk to you.
No, no, likewise, man. Likewise. Like I said, I mean, I got more stories, so I'll definitely bring you back because I want to hear about Weird Al Yankovic, man, for sure, dude. That would have been cool to meet, dude. I wouldn't mind. I know. Real quick, man, I got to hang out with. You remember Julie Brown from
Oh yeah,
MTV? Not
yeah.
not downtown Julie Brown, but the redhead.
The other Julie Brown. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's like her. I got to meet her at a convention here, man, and I was crazy wild. I was like, oh crap, I used to see you on MTV, man. I was like, what's up, But she was down to earth, too funny. But yeah, bro, like meeting people like that is always a perk, and it's like, especially when we grew up watching them on TV, and it's like, wow.
Yeah, yeah. You find out they're just people.
No, yeah,
We know
exactly.
what they are.
No, yeah, especially now they just want to live, and it's like
Yep,
reliving some old memories. But man, they're still good people, man.
yep.
But brother, I do appreciate you jumping on here, man. Don't hang up yet. Everybody, of course, Eric Lahti, thank you, my brother. Everybody out there, of course, don't hang up. Till next time. Follow up.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.